Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. My name is Cindy D. Whitmer, and I am the Midlife Makeover Coach, helping you turn your midlife into your best life, one step at a time. Through powerful conversations, my own midlife roller coaster story, and over 3 decades of helping people transform their lives through counseling and coaching, I am on a mission to help you create your own definition of success and happiness. Thank you for being here. Hello, everyone. It's Cindy here. Thank you for listening to the Life Makeovers podcast and Happy New Year. Oh my gosh, here we are. It's 2024. Who would have ever imagined that 2023 would fly by as fast as it did? At least it did for me. And now we get to begin again with a brand new calendar, a brand new year. And I always find that very exciting, actually. I find it to be a wonderful transition. And I know really it's just the flip of another day in the calendar to get to a new year. But for me, very psychologically, it's just one of my favorite times of the year is starting fresh, starting new. And so I thought, well, what are some ways that you can jumpstart your year? Because as your coach and someone who loves you and cares about you and wants you to have the best life experience you possibly can, I want you to get going right off the bat, and not waste time, not let another day go by before you really think about what you want this year to look like and what you need the most in your life right now. So let's talk about 4 ways to jumpstart your year. Number 1, I want you to push the reset button on your life. Push the reset button on your life. Now, what do I mean what do I mean by this? So, you know how when you're on your computer and you're at a website and you need to refresh it, maybe you've been on the page a while and it's like acting funny or it's not letting you click the buttons. And so you refresh the page, you go up to that little circular arrow and you push it and it goes through a little refresh. And so it's like you're going to the page brand new for the first time that day instead of the second time or whatever. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, pushing your reset button, your refresh button, whatever you want to call it, of your life. Or maybe you can think about it like, you get an upgrade on your phone, right? Every so often it's like, oh, it's time for you to back up. It's time for an upgrade. It's time to whatever. So you're starting new again. And so that's what I mean by pushing the reset or the refresh button on your life. So in other words, I want you to take an honest assessment and just look at where you're at, like right now. Where are you in your life? At what state are you in your life? What is working for you in your life? What's not working for you in your life? Just be honest with yourself. Do this on your own time, you know, privately if you want, but really look it over. And then there's 6 areas to kind of sum up most of life that I'll give you to think about. So, like in your health, where are you at with your health and what do you actually want? Are they the same thing? Are they different? Um, what about in your relationships in your life? Look over your whole set of relationships, personal relationships, professional based relationships, casual relationships, serious relationships, whatever, family, friends, neighbors, community, whatever, coworkers. Do a little scan of those relationships and take a good assessment of what's going on there, how you're showing up in your relationships. Your financial life, where are you at? Do you feel really good about where you stand financially? Do you feel really bad about where you stand financially? Just look at it. Try not to judge. Just look and go, okay, here's where I'm at. I'm very well prepared for retirement, but my cash flow is a little low right now. Or I feel really good. I've saved up X number of dollars, but I'd like to, save even more this year. Or I've been saving for this thing I've always wanted. This is the year I'm going to get it. Whatever it is, just take a look at it And then look at your professional life, whether you are a career-based person, a job-based person, you own a business, whether you're a professional volunteer doing a ton of volunteer work, whether you're caregiving for your parents, whether you're raising your grandchildren, whether you're still raising your children, whatever you've got going on, if your home is your work, also, whatever it is, whatever you would throw into that professional life space, take a little assessment of that too. And then, of course, I'm a counselor and a coach. I can't help but say this, but I want you to look into the area of your personal development. Are you growing as a person? Do you feel like you're evolving as a person? What part of your personality do you not really like or you see gets you in trouble in your life? Or what is something you want to manage better in your mind or in your heart? Those are things. You need great, more effective communication skills. What is it that how you're wanting to evolve personally? Maybe you want to be a more patient person. Maybe you want to be more motivated, whatever it is. Do an assessment where you're at with that. And maybe a lot of women want more confidence in midlife. I hear that all the time. And then the last area is your environments. Like, how do you feel about where you're at in your environments? Do you love your home? Is it the sanctuary you want it to be, or is it a cluttered mess, or not as clean as you'd like it? Or do you have a bunch of stuff that you don't need and you'd love to let go of it? What about environments at work? What about your car? Is your vehicle a good environment for you? Your garages, your attics, your basements, your properties, whatever, your work environment. Look at the spaces where you exist a lot and do a little assessment of those. So, looking at these 6 areas of your life really represents much of life, right? Much of what makes up our lives. Now, you may think of other things too, other areas you want to look at. That's great. I just kind of summed it up in 6. But the point being, look over each of those 6 areas and push the refresh button and say to yourself, okay, how do I want to reset in this area? Like, here's where I'm at with my health. I got my blood pressure down this year, but I want to lose more weight, or I want to bench press this much now, this year or whatever. So, again, look at all those areas, see what changes you'd like to make, if any, and also celebrate your wins, celebrate where you're at. That feels really good. And then go on to number 2, the second way to jumpstart your year is to ask yourself this powerful question. What could you do differently right now, starting today, that would feel really good and move you forward in any of those areas? Okay, I'm going to repeat that question again. What could you do differently right now, today, that would feel really good to you and move you forward in each of those areas, or any other area that you identified, of course? So let's take a health example. I know the biggest, most popular goal that women set every January 1st of every year for I don't know how many years is to lose weight. Fine. If you want to lose weight, what could you do right now differently that would feel really good and move you forward? Maybe it's signing up for a Pilates class. Maybe it's starting to drink more water. Maybe it's by trying some food that feels healthier that you've never tried before. Maybe it's just reducing your calories. Maybe it's going to a nutritionist and getting a meal plan together. Maybe it's doing yoga at home. Maybe it's just walking every day for 15 minutes. Maybe it's talking to your doctor about your overall health picture. Whatever it is, I am not here to tell you how to lose weight. I am just saying that it's important to take a step, or whatever feels like the next best inspired step for you to move you forward, getting your jump on the year. Relationships. Maybe there's a conversation that you need to have with someone they're continuing not to show up in a way you would like them to in a relationship, and you finally want to have a conversation to see where you guys can go with that. Or maybe there's something you need to tell someone, to tell the truth about something that you've been holding off and pretending not to know and all of those things. Maybe you are considering a breakup, and you've been considering a breakup for a long time, and you're delaying it and delaying it, and maybe this, but yet it's keeping you stuck in your life, and this is the time. Maybe there's someone you want to reach out to that you're wishing you would like to get to know better, and you've been meaning to reach out and you haven't done it, and now you're going to make that move. Maybe there's a coworker you're working on a project with, and you feel unclear about what that person's role is versus your role, and maybe you want to follow up with that. Whatever it is, what could you do differently right now that would feel good and move you forward in your relationships? Finances. I know the economy has not been easy to take the last few years. There's a lot of concerns around all of that. So maybe you're edging up closer to retirement, and you really don't have a clear picture of what you've invested in and how that's going to map out for you in the retirement years. So maybe the next best thing you could do differently is get a financial advisor, or even a step before that, start asking around for what financial advisors are recommended. And so maybe that's your next best step. Maybe your next best step is just to look at all of your accounts and see if you have any credit card debt, if you have any unpaid bills. See, where's my savings account? Where's my checking account at? Where are my retirement accounts at, or whatever, and just get a really good, honest look at your financial picture. That's one of the things that actually keeps people from having the financial life that they really want, is they just don't look. They don't look, they ignore things because they think if they ignore it, it'll go away, and it won't. So you'll feel better, actually. You'll feel more empowered. Even if you don't like the numbers you see, you'll feel more empowered because you'll be like, okay, now I actually know where I am. It's not as bad as I was dreaming up in my mind. These are some things I can do. If you want to make some extra cash, you could get another job or get a part-time job, or you could sell stuff, or you could do all kinds of things to make some extra money. So there are jobs available everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So you could bring in some more income if you want, or look at where you're wasting money and save more. So what's the next best thing you could do differently right now that would feel really good and move you forward financially? Okay. Professional life, same thing. Look it over. Do you like your job? Do you hate your job? Do you wish you had a different career? Do you want to get more training? Do you want to start your own business? Do you want to close your business and go work for someone else? Do you want to, just look at it. Do you like volunteering where you volunteer? Are you stretched too thin with caregiving? What's going on? What's one thing you can do right now that would feel good and move you forward? And then look again, at the personal development thing. If you want to deal with your loss and grief issues, maybe you sign up for a grief support group at your church. If you want to become a more patient person, maybe you hire, a therapist or a coach to help you work through some of your issues that cause you to be impatient, and that can teach you new skills to use to be more patient. And then in your environments, like if you want to start decluttering, if you're living in clutter and you don't like that, you could start decluttering and ask yourself this with every thing you think about getting rid of. Do I want this, use this, need this, or love this anymore? Do I want this, use this, need this, love this? And if the answer is no, 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 then get rid of it. That's a great way to start eliminating. And so if you don't like an environment, your whole house is cluttered, or there's an area of your life that's cluttered, just start with one drawer, one section, one category, one room, and just work your way. Remember, we're looking for one thing you can do differently right now in each of these areas that you want change that would feel really good and move you forward. Number 3. Okay, so the third way to jumpstart your year is, I'm going to say it again, keep yourself your number one priority. Please, this year, all year. Now, that may shock you that I would even suggest such a thing. And you may think that that's a very selfish approach to living. But I'm telling you, the research is crystal clear. I know this in my own life. I know this personally. I know it professionally. I see it all the time. And it's clear when you make yourself your number one priority and you take really good care of yourself and you're really honest about what you need and you want in your life and you let yourself do that and create those things, the ripple effect is completely positive. Everyone around you benefits from this. Everyone. Because the happier you are, the healthier you are, the more you upgrade your own life, the more available you're going to be to other people, the more on top of your game you're going to be. So you're going to produce better results in all your areas of living, whatever you're doing and accomplishing or contributing to the world around you. And you will be happier and more fun to be around, quite frankly. So it is a win for everybody when you keep yourself as your number one priority. I'm not talking about narcissism. I'm not talking about you never care about what anybody else thinks, wants, or needs. I'm talking about loving yourself properly, knowing what you want, knowing what you need, and allowing yourself to get it and be who you want to be and live how you want to live while honoring and loving other people, you know? So that's what I'm talking about. So push the reset button on your life in those 6 areas. Ask yourself what you could do differently right now that would feel good and move you forward in those 6 areas and any other identified areas you can think of. And number 3, keep yourself your number one priority all year long. And number 4, the fourth way to jumpstart your year is to hire a coach. I'm telling you, this is what we do. We help people upgrade their lives personally and professionally all the time. And I am a highly trained, highly experienced, I'm a really great coach and I love my people. And I have a group coaching program now that is so practically priced. It is the highest value of coaching at such a practical price I have ever seen in the industry, honestly, for years and years and years and years and years. And I'm very proud of that. And I would love to talk to you about that. If you have any interest in group or private coaching support in your life, this is a wonderful window of opportunity that's open right now to get in the game while it is going. So all you have to do is go to timewithcindy.com, and schedule a 1-hour powerful coaching conversation with me. And I'm going to give you a coaching experience. I'm not going to just try to sell you coaching. I'm not going to sit there and just go, oh, I've got this program, I've got that program. I'm going to hear about your life and give you a powerful coaching experience so you understand what coaching can actually do for you. And then you can decide, oh, I like this, I want more of this, or I don't. Thanks, Cindy, bye. No worries, no obligation, no concern. I love getting to know my listeners and have my hand on the pulse of women in midlife everywhere, what's going on with them, so I can serve you all better, even through this podcast and other things I do. So please go to timewithcindy.com if you want to jumpstart your year on even a bigger level. And I will talk to you again soon. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for listening to the Life Makeovers podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast with those that you think would also benefit from what we're doing here. And I will talk to you again soon.